Hi, this is Debbie from Organic Oasis, Northern California, Zone 9B. And we're in November. It's starting to finally cool off, and it's a perfect time for us here to plant our garlic. So I just go to Trader Joe's and I buy their organic garlic. And I took the bulbs and I went ahead and broke them into individual pieces. I have my two little round beds here. Both of these I bought on Amazon probably 4 years ago for maybe $15 each. They're grow bags. They're in a really nice color, turquoise. And this has soil in it, and it also has a lot of our compost, our homemade compost. And I'm going to add some worm compost to both of these bags. They already have a lot of compost, so I'm not going to be adding fertilizer today. I don't want to put too much nitrogen in right now. But all this compost and worm compost is going to be very beneficial to the garlic. My soil is very loose in here. It's really nice and loose. There's no roots or anything blocking the garlic from coming up. I just found an acorn a squirrel's been digging in here. So my soil is nice and loose. I have lots of compost and organic matter in here. I have worm compost in here. The only thing I don't have yet is my irrigation is not hooked up to these two beds. So I am going to have to attach my drip. But because it rained last night and we are expecting more rain, I don't feel that I have to quickly add the drip. I might do that tomorrow. I'll give this a good watering tonight, and then I'll add my drip tomorrow. But we've had rain, so I'm not feeling so worried. The garlic, the way I like to think about it is, when you look at your bulb, there's definitely a place where you can tell this plant was in the soil and there were roots growing down. And then you have a point coming up. But you want to put the end that looks like it had roots down so that this, when it grows, it's going to grow roots out of that same area. So it's the flat part of the bulb. So the pointy part is always going to go up, and the section where the roots are going to come out of, the flat part, is going to go down. So I'm going to go ahead and space my garlic. I'm just going to, with my fingers, draw some lines. And the garlic, I think in both of these, I'm going to draw this with my fingers. I'm going to try to plant these about maybe 4 to 6 inches apart. So I'm going to just start down the center. And what I'm going to do is just use my finger, and I'm going to press my garlic bulb straight down into the soil until it reaches my knuckle. My fingers are short, so a little past my knuckle. I'm going to go ahead and position the garlics like this. And I'm also picking out my biggest ones first. And if I have any left over, I will plant the little ones as well. But I want to get my big ones in first. The bigger bulbs for garlic cloves will actually grow into larger garlic bulbs. While I'm putting these in, I'm trying to pick out the biggest cloves. My garlic that I bought at Trader Joe's is a smaller garlic bulb. And as I broke the cloves apart, you can see there's a big clove, and then there's some smaller cloves. So I'm going to try to pick out the bigger cloves to go in here. And then if I have any smaller ones left over, I will still plant them. but I'll plant them sort of around the edges. If I don't plant all of these, I'll just save some for using in my cooking. The Trader Joe garlic, I have planted it before and it's growing really well. It's organic, which I like. The other thing is you do not need to peel the garlic. You can leave the skin on, and it helps keep the garlic cloves from getting fungus or disease. Okay, I think I have all the garlic in right now that I need. So now I'm just going to use my finger to push it down, to push each clove down. I think I'm going to take these little ones and just go around the edges. The one problem that I find with planting garlic is that it takes a long time for it to be ready. I'm planting it now, but it won't be ready until at the end of next spring or even summer. And you will get a plant that grows up, and then eventually the plant will die. And it's sort of kind of like planting potatoes. Eventually it dies back, and then you know your garlic is ready to pull. And then you have to, after that, you have to dry them out and let them cure. And then finally, after that, they're ready to put away in a cellar or somewhere cool and dark. And then you can start using them. And that's pretty much it. Now what I'm going to do is put my straw on. As you can see, we use this sustainable mold garden straw. We get this from Amazon. Unfortunately, most of the straw that we can get around our house is sprayed with toxins to prevent weeds from growing. When they're growing this, they spray it with something to prevent weeds. And then what happens is it's on the straw, and animals can eat the straw without getting sick. But we don't want to put that in our garden. We've gone to all the local places that sell straw for horses and bedding and all that, and we still couldn't find any. Nobody knew, the owners of the stores and the people working there, nobody knew for sure if it had been sprayed. So we ended up finding this on Amazon, and they guarantee that that it's organic and has never been sprayed. So we use this. So this, I'm going to have to cover it up so that the squirrels don't go back in to put more acorns in. And I'll be covering this up. And then I'll be putting on a drip just to make sure if we don't get a lot of rain that I'll be able to keep it damp. I've learned to do my own drip over the years. I've tried all kinds of different methods to water my plants, and eventually, finally, I just learned how to add the drip. And it's been a real savior here in California since we get drought conditions and heat. And so now, luckily, we're in a cool fall. We're getting a little bit of rain. We got like a half an inch last night, or maybe a quarter of an inch. But and now the watering is not as important, but this garlic will be in here for a long time, so I need to make sure I'm able to keep it moist. Okay, so I've got my straw on top. This is all looking good. Now I'm going to put the covers on it and add some drip.